guys, we have our first CFMOTO first ride. Let's get this thing going. What's going on, guys? Chaseontwowheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, and in front of us we have the brand new 2022 CFMOTO 700 CLX Sport. CFMOTO, if you guys have been fans of the channel, are a brand new company to the US as far as the motorcycles go. If you guys want to know more about CFMOTO, we've done a live on Two Wheels episode about it. I'll have that linked in the description. But today we are on their Neo Cafe 700cc Sport model. I am excited. It looks like an MV Agusta. I want to get this thing going, but before we do, we gotta see what it looks like, and we gotta see what it sounds like. Alright guys, that's what the bike looks like, that's what the bike sounds like. Now, while I get my gloves on, we are going to talk about an ad really fast so I can afford to show you guys some dope camera car footage of this motorcycle. So we're going to talk about an ad super fast, and then I'm turning that key.
Alright, mic check, mic check.
The ice cream man is coming! The ice cream man is coming! Chase, we need money! The ice cream man is coming!
I don't want to be a party pooper, bro. We already budgeted like adults, so and payday's like a week away, so no ice cream.
Wait, Dave.
Who's Dave?
No, Dave, the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash.
We did the ad spot for them.
Yeah, and the best part is there's no interest or credit check, so in a pinch like this, when you need some extra cash, download Dave and think of it as a helping hand from future you.
Who are you talking to?
Who are you talking to, man?
Ice cream?
Ice cream!
So, download Dave today at dave.com/chase. That's dave.com/chase. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve. Member FDIC. And back to the ice cream. I'm at first ride. Dude, I don't know what this is, but it's good. Nice job. Can you guys keep clicking on our ads so we can keep buying food? That'd be great.
We don't eat without your money.
Alright guys, that was the ad. Thank you guys so much for watching through the ads. It really helps the channel out. Mucho apreciado of you guys that support the companies that support us. Now, without any further ado, I'm going to get my phone on my quad lock, and we are turning this key as promised. Let's freaking go, fam. Alright guys, I am 5'10", I got a 32-inch inseam, and as you can see, we've got a pretty low seat height, under 32-inch seat height. I've got bent legs. I feel really in control of this thing. I would say it's about medium on the heavy side. I think this thing comes in at a weight of around 450 pounds? Somewhere about there. It's mediumly heavy, not too bad. Let's get this thing cranked up. Are we in neutral? We are. Alrighty. And you guys are not here to listen to me sit on a motorcycle. You are here to listen to me ride a motorcycle, or ideally watch as well. Again, guys, we are doing a first ride on a Monday, so Mountain Motorsports is closed today. That is why the parking lot is empty. And let's get this thing going. Also, if you guys are fans of motorcyclists and you're a Discord style person, you should check out our Discord. It's full of motorcycle enthusiasts just like yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2022 All right, guys. Oh, we're in sport mode. We're not supposed to start first rides in sport mode. What are you doing, Chase? Get your shit together. All right, guys, we're here on the We're here on the CFMOTO 700 CLX Sport. They do have a CLX, or standard model, that is more similar to Yamaha's MT-07. This thing's going to be competing with that Neo Cafe line, the middleweights of that. Some other competitors in this market would technically be the Ducati Scrambler Cafe, the 800 one. The Husqvarna also has their Vitpillen 700 or 701. That is in comparison with this motorcycle, though engine-wise and relative performance, you could also compare it to an MT-07. Today's going to be an interesting day. Today's the first CFMOTO that I've personally ever ridden, so I am excited for today. All right, guys, you guys know how we start out first rides. We do a body position check. First off, seat-wise, really comfortable seat, holds my whole butt, love that. With the clip-ons here, I'm leaned over a little bit, but honestly, compared to the photos that I saw of this motorcycle, I thought I'd be leaned over far more. I really like the kind of, I'll call it semi-aggressive stance here. My legs aren't too crunched up. I wouldn't say they're crunched up at all. They're a little aggressive, not too much. I feel like, as far as my body goes, I feel like this is the perfect level of sport. I'm slightly leaned forward. My legs are slightly tucked in. I feel like I'm in a good body position that I could ride for a period of time, but also could ride sporty if I wanted to. I'm really digging the body position right now, which is shocking. I saw the photos of this bike, and I was like, man, that thing's gonna be uncomfortable to ride. Not the case, which is awesome. All right, guys, at this red light, I'd like to talk about modes. We actually have them on this bike. It's been a minute since I've rode a bike with modes. So interestingly, it's got eco mode and sport mode. And what I was looking at is the throttle is electronic. We got that cable going right there. So I'm assuming that they just changed the throttling between sport and eco. The strange thing is you get a button. So you go eco there, you hit down on sport, it goes there. If you hit sport again, it doesn't do anything. So we're now in sport mode. So, because you guys know, I can't do a video in eco mode. I ain't trying to ride eco mode for you guys. I am interested to see how it... Whoa! There's a motorcycle. That is what I am talking about. My goodness gracious. Okay, those modes are insanely different. Oh, that's interesting. I'm changing the mode and I'm not changing the throttling, and I can literally feel the bike changing. I don't know what's changing. It's almost like the bike feels like it's ready to go more or something. I don't even know what that is. Oh, sport mode's where it's at, but it's awesome that eco mode is a thing. We love having it. That's hilarious. We do not have traction control on this motorcycle. We do have ABS. So the modes are only changing the power delivery on the motorcycle, and so far, sport is my favorite. Man, this bike gets pepped up so much when you put it into sport mode. I love that. That's the peppiness I want out of a little parallel twin. All right, guys, as we're riding here on the street, kind of like, slow on street speeds, decently maneuverable. I am leaned over, so that is going to put you in a body position that is inclined to go fast and like lean with the motorcycle. It doesn't make it easier to jump back and forth in a lane per se, but weight-wise, maneuverability-wise, I got no problem. I imagine the regular CLX Sport, or the regular CLX, would probably be more maneuverable on a city street because of the handlebars that they have, but I've got no problem getting around traffic like this. The body position's really cool to where I can lean back very easily because the seat's a little low, so I don't have to put a lot of weight on the handlebar. I mean, you shouldn't put a lot of weight on your handlebars regardless, but it's very interesting. Typically with clip-ons, you're on top of the handlebars, but here, you're a little set back some. Going at these low speeds, I got no problem keeping balance on the bike. Stop. You gotta stop. You can't be doing that. I mean, you can. ABS on the rear? Yeah, definitely ABS on the rear, just smashed on the rear brake, and it was oscillating correctly. Oh man, I would like to submit that the middleweight parallel twin may be the best motorcycle engine and power plant for city riding. You get to actually push the bike and you get to like grab the power out of it, and it's so punchy and fun around the city. I love it so much. You guys know how much I love the MT-07, so I'm already a fan of that parallel twin, the CP2, and this one, oh, it's so fun too. I love it. I love these things so much. I know for a fact if I lived in a big city like a downtown setting and I rode mostly in that area, I would get a parallel twin and I would never look back. It is the perfect amount of power for weight that you can get on the market, period. You can't change my mind. Oh, it's got a good sound too when you really start revving it up. That's fun. Look at that. I can be chill, but to be chill, I got to be in 5th gear. But I've got enough power to shift down and like play around if I want to. This has got a good amount of power for city riding for sure. Yeah, that sound. That's what we like. Engine braking feels good too. At least around these city streets. That power is a little higher up than I thought it would be. I like this bike way more than I thought I would. Look at that power. For the city, get out of here. What else do you need? I will say, at higher revs, I'm feeling a little bit of vibration in my feet. You know, when you're really pushing it, you got it in sport mode. You're trying to get a little vibration down there. So guys, we're coming up to the highway. We are on a Neo Cafe. We have no wind protection other than this little curvature here. So this should be pretty interesting. What we're about to do is not what this bike is made for, but that's part of the testing. That's what we got to do. Can it handle the highway? Should have enough power. You know, it's we're looking at what, 75 horsepower, and I think there's 74 horsepower, 48 foot-pounds of torque. Shouldn't have a problem getting up to highway speed, but how good does it feel on the highway? We'll find out. All right, guys, 2022 CFMOTO 700 CLX Sport. We got a 40 to 80 pull to do. On your mark, get set. There it is. There it is. Little champion this thing is. I love this motorcycle right now. Alrighty guys, we're here on the highway after a decent 40 to 80 pull. Alright, body position wise, I'm getting a lot of wind on my chest. No surprise there. The wind starts about right here, if you guys can see my hand. That being said, we're in 6th gear going 75. I got no weight on the throttle at all. It's easily cruising here. Speaking of cruise, this is a $7,000 motorcycle and it has freaking cruise control. How awesome is that? If we're getting to the point of like, do you need cruise control? Oh, interesting. They don't have the cruise control cancel by going forward on the throttle. Oh, that's really interesting. So the only way to turn it off, I assume, is just give it some brake, throttle, and it just cuts off. Okay, cool. So one of the interesting things is this bike has no wind protection, so it's not necessarily a bike that would be great for touring. So there's really not a ton of need for cruise control, but let me tell you, I love that they put it on here. I'm a huge fan of cruise control, and if you're not, it's probably because you haven't ridden with cruise control yet. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I do love it. Power-wise, we're able to chill at 80 miles an hour at 6th gear. Engine's purring, no problem. I've got plenty of power left if I need to throttle up past people. Guys, as far as maneuverability on the highway, very stable bike. Shockingly, it's for a lighter motorcycle, it's got no problems cutting through the wind. The only real issue I'm getting on the highway, honestly, is the buffeting that I'm dealing with. If I was a little more aggressive and I was leaned forward more, my body weight would fight the wind. But because I'm in that kind of mixed body position, I do get thrown back a little bit. So I would see you getting a little tired on the highway after a period of time. I would say a commute of about 20 minutes, probably 30 minutes is probably totally adequate. Anything more than that, I think you'd get a little tired because of the style of motorcycle you're on. Overall though, great job on the freaking highway. I am really liking this motorcycle, if I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna get downshifted a couple times here so we can hit our big turn with some sort of momentum. Let's see how this thing leans over. I imagine with the clip-ons, we should have a pretty good feeling when we lean over. Absolutely, fam. See, this is why you get clip-ons. Very comfortable to lean into a turn, which this is a sport model. You should be wanting to get leaned into a turn. Really digging the handlebar position on that. Feels great, stayed solid. All right, we got to chill out. All right, guys, let me stop at this red light real quick. And while I do that, let's jump to the camera car and see what the guys in the camera car think about the CLX Sport. Thanks to our buddies over at Cardo.
This Neo Cafe just looks awesome. I love the colorway too. That skunk, yeah, with the yellow accents, good.
Yeah, it's got a Ducati Monster kind of MV Agusta vibe to it. The pops of yellow, of course, no shocker. I love. It's a pretty stout looking bike and pretty impressed.
All right, guys in the camera car, thank you so much for your opinions, and even more so, thank you, Cardo, for sponsoring the First Ride series. If you guys want to get a discount on the best Bluetooth on the market, we got a description link for you that'll give you a discount. You're welcome. Thank you, Cardo. All right, guys, let's talk a bit power delivery. I ain't even talking about eco mode. Eco mode's great for being eco mode, but sport mode is where this thing is at. If you're buying this thing because you're a fan of parallel twin power delivery, you 100% get that. I do feel like the power band's a little higher than I kind of mentally expect, but the style of power, that punchy twin power that you get, is totally here, and I absolutely love it. We do not have a quick shifter on this bike. I mean, it's $7,000. How the hell would they do that? Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if CFMOTO put that in there somehow and kept the price point what they did. But as far as the transmission goes, the gearing feels great. I'm shifting when I feel like I should be shifting, so it matches up with the power delivery really well. I will say, as far as the shifting goes, props to CFMOTO. When you are in first and you shift down, you feel the floor of the transmission. Not a lot of motorcycles do that, and I absolutely love that they did that here. It just helps me know as a rider. I don't have to look down to know that I'm in first gear. I really love that. As far as continuing this conversation of things that you have on a motorcycle somehow that only cost $7,000, we have dual disc Brembo front brakes on this thing. When I've used the brakes, they feel incredible. You do not expect to have this strong and this good of feeling brakes on a motorcycle that's one, a 700cc bike, and two, that's a $7,000 motorcycle. I cannot get away from the fact that this thing is $7,000. It is mind-blowing, and the brakes show that. As you can see, when we get to do the walk around, you guys will see the brakes, but there's been a couple of times where I've had to lay on them and the brake feel is strong as hell. Obviously, like we talked about earlier, we have ABS here just in case, which for a bike that has brakes that are that strong, I am very happy that they have ABS, because if you're a new rider, this is a bike that's at a really good price point, so you could afford. A lot of people, this could be the first time they're experiencing Brembo brakes and how strong they are. Because, man, when they bite, they bite. This bike's also brand new. As you guys can see, 36 miles here on the dash. That means the brakes are going to get nothing but stronger. So, CFMOTO was like, hey, what style of brakes should we put on? Probably the best ones. Cool, let's do that. You are going to be shocked if you come from something like an MT-07 or something like that. The brakes in the rear, also totally adequate, but like when you got dual disc Brembos up front, it's hard to not focus on those. Speaking up front, guys, let's talk about the controls of the motorcycle. We are on a Neo Cafe. We've got this kind of, leaned over, like minimal dash thing going on. As far as the controls go, everything is pretty solid. I will say the CFMOTO buttons are a little strange, where instead of like a click up or click back, they're more of a press in. And that's even for these buttons here for the modes. You just press it and you get a little bit of a click when you press it, and then it changes the modes. It doesn't actually rocker the switch. So that's pretty interesting. Not really a pro or a con, it's just a little different. The feeling wise is totally adequate though. I get good feedback on all the buttons that I've pressed, other than the blinker. I do wish I got a little more feedback on the blinker. I've noticed that I end up leaving the motorcycle with the blinker on a little more than I normally would, and that's because I'm not getting as much of a click back as I wanted. As far as the levers, again, we have adjustable brake and clutch levers. They're blacked out. I love the way they look. They feel great. I've got the clutch lever adjusted all the way out so I can two-finger clutch it, and it feels phenomenal. I had to adjust it on the way to get to mountain because I had it too far back, and I was wondering, it was like, I can't get this adjusted right. I had just adjusted it in the wrong direction. I got it adjusted right now. Feels great. No problem with that at all. The dash, I've got no problem with. I got a fuel gauge, love that. It's more of like a cost-effective dash, if we're gonna be honest. But this is a price point motorcycle, and it has all the shit it has on it. I'm gonna be totally okay with the dash. This dash is no better than my MT-10. You know, like that whole style of dash. I've got no problem with it, so I've definitely got no problem with this. Grips feel okay. I wish I had a little more grip. I don't love the grips as much as the other stuff on the bike, but it is what it is. Absolutely love the fact that this bike has stock bar end mirrors that are adjustable. Because of that, because of the mirrors being on the bar ends, they actually work. I don't got a chicken wing. I can literally just look down and I have a phenomenal view behind me. I feel like they're a great size and they fit really well with the motorcycle. As you guys can see, I'm leaned over here. If I look here, I see behind me, I just barely see my elbow. And same thing for that one. Phenomenal mirrors, love that. You don't see that very often. So when I see it, absolutely love it. I wish more manufacturers would do that. It also fits into the Neo Cafe look of the bike, so everything's matched up exactly like it should be. All right, guys, so we got our church little parking lot up here, so I'm gonna pull off and we're gonna do a little walk around of the bike because this bike looks sick. I am so jealous that you guys have been getting to see all the camera car footage. I have not gotten to see camera car footage of riding around on this thing yet, and I cannot wait to check it out. So let's do a little walk around of the bike over here. Alrighty, guys. That is, let's do a little walk around of the CFMOTO 700 CLX Sport. Very cafe, very like future cafe. Like, this thing just looks like it's out of the future. It looks like a baby MV Augusta Brutale. I think it's amazing. The one thing about the looks that I don't love is the exhaust. That is the only thing on this bike that I'm not a huge fan of. And also, look at that. We got Brimbos in the back. Phenomenal. Obviously, the paint job, the coloring is very vibrant. I love that they have the hits of neon all over the place. We do have this little faux carbon fiber, but I mean, the bike's $7,000. What the hell would you want? We have adjustable front suspension. We have adjustable rear suspension. Let me show you guys. Whoa. Adjustable rear right here. I do find it hilarious that CFMOTO has passenger pegs and that's the passenger seat. I don't know if that's like hilarious, like a joke, but I think it's great. But yeah, guys, that's the look. We got this LED front headlight. We got these LED turn signals. These look a little bargain bin. I don't love seeing all the little individual LEDs. I've seen a lot of aftermarket turn signals that look like that, so it is what it is, but I'm personally not a huge fan of it. I love the tail, and I love that they did the off the swing arm license plate bracket because it keeps the tail super clean. Like, look at that. Look at that profile. Freaking nailed it. Exhaust is terrible. I don't think the bike sounds that great either. It definitely rides better than it sounds. Now, one of the things I did notice about the motorcycle, I don't love the little stickering here. CFMOTO is not the only company that does that. We've got stickering here. I would love to see that in, like, underneath the clear coat. It gives me a little bit of cost effective. But we got the engine kind of blacked out with a little bit of highlighting here with the silver. I think the engine looks solid. But yeah, guys, check out these brakes, dude. Look at this. Look how thick that is. Like, that's my hand. And you got dual discs up front. I don't know how CFMOTO is making this for $7,000, but let's just stay hush about it and let's just appreciate it for what it is. Alright guys, I'm going to grab my phone off my quad lock real quick so I can take some photos for Instagram. If you guys aren't following us on Instagram, we are at CFMOTO Pics. We always post photos and videos of the first ride bike, so go on, check us out over there. We also post these really cool camera car videos, so go check us out over at CFMOTO Pics on Instagram and allow me to take a couple photos for you guys. Alright guys, those are the photos for Instagram. If you guys want to check them out, they are there. We also make content over on TikTok. If you guys like all the TikTok stuff, we're at Chaseontwowheels on TikTok. Alright guys, let's get back on this bike. Let's do a steering stem lock test, and then let's discuss who the hell this bike is for. Alright guys, let's see how she turns. The Neo Cafes typically don't do well. For a Neo Cafe, that's not bad at all. It's not the craziest steering stem lock, but that is entirely adequate for a motorcycle. I've had no problems kind of drifting around this parking lot here. This bike sounds the best, and this bike sounds like it should, only when you are absolute full throttle and the revs get into the power band. If you don't get to there, it kind of toots around. The sound is very strange. Different exhaust, totally necessary. All right, guys, let's talk about who I feel like this bike is for. I feel like just generally this bike is coming in at a phenomenal price for what you are getting. Adjustable levers, giant brakes up front, a phenomenal feeling engine. You've got ABS, you've got a cruise control, you've got modes, all of this in a fun parallel twin package with adjustable suspension. All of this for like $7,000. It doesn't make any sense. I really think CFMOTO is pricing this thing to where they make next to no money on it and make it just such a good value for the market that people have to pay attention to it. I'm pretty sure that's what CFMOTO is doing right now. They are brand new into the market. They do have we have a lot of amazing motorcycles right now. So to come into this market, you got to be doing some serious shit. And I think CFMOTO was like, hey, let's do some serious shit, or let's price it out to be super competitive. I think a lot of people are going to look at this bike and see the price and expect it to feel chintzy or cheap. It does not feel like that at all. Is it like Ducati level premium? No, absolutely not. But you're also not paying for that. I think the things that CFMOTO spent their money on is extremely valuable. I don't feel like I'm riding or a cost-effective motorcycle. I honestly feel like this bike rides like it's maybe like $8,000-$9,000, honestly. Overall, I've had a phenomenal time on it. I love this little thing. If you keep it in eco mode and you really like the looks, you may be able to start out on this thing only because it has eco mode. If it didn't have eco mode, I would not recommend this thing. I think it's a little punchy. Which is, you know, if you have some experience riding, bro, you are gonna have a freaking ball with this. If you don't, though, and you're able to keep it in eco mode, I think you guys could realistically start on this. It would be a phenomenal platform for you to grow into specifically, and it comes in at a price point that's really hard to beat. So beginner riders, you know, as long as you know yourself and you can handle it, I think you could totally do it. It is pretty powerful for a beginner rider, but maybe, you know, an upgrade from maybe your first bike, like your R3 or something like that. I think that's the ideal person. You would be able to really rip this thing and have just such a good time. I personally really like the looks of it. You guys can let me know in the comments what you guys think about the looks. And ideally, there's going to be some aftermarket support for this thing, so hopefully we could see an aftermarket company do an exhaust. The only thing I can't really comment on this first ride is the longevity of the power plant. I don't know anything about this parallel twin. As far as how it rides phenomenally. But I just don't know about CFMOTO as a long-term because they're brand new, and that's one of the negatives of having a brand new company is they're not proven, you know? So as far as the initial ride on this thing, I have loved every single second of it, and I can't wait to spend more time on this thing. We've got this thing in the shop for about a month, I think. I am going to be riding it as much as possible to get a feel for it, but so far I love the shit out of this thing. It is, I don't know how it's priced like it is. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And guys, that's about all I've got for my first ride here on the CFMOTO 700 CLX Sport. If you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more motorcycle content. I appreciate you guys riding around with me, and I'll see you on the next one. Later. Outro crew. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Make sure to put OC in your comment, because I know you guys are going to comment. And guys, let me know, like, how the hell are they charging $7,000 for this motorcycle? They could be charging so much more for everything you get. Let me know why you think this bike is as good as it is for the price point in the comments. I'm going to be floating around the comments. I'm super curious. But guys, I appreciate you riding around with me, and we'll see you on the next one. And we love you a little bit longer. All right, guys. Later.